Hey, hey yo, how is everybody? Rachel Clare, the BoulderPsychic.com, coming to you today because I'm going to tell you a story. I've been seeing lots of people who are talking about being an empath. It seems like being empathic, being an empath is like getting this resurgence right now in the collective consciousness. I'm an empath. Are you an empath? You're an empath. What's an empath? Oh, I think I am that. So I want to talk about being an empath and my perspective on that from a psychic level because it's pretty close to my heart. Because that's actually the way that I say that I discovered that I was a psychic. So when I was with a group of girlfriends, we were staying in a cabin, and I was hanging out with this friend, and I was talking to her, and I had my hands on her as we were talking. And then I got up to leave, and I suddenly felt all these symptoms. And I told her, I was like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I feel XYZ. And she was like, oh, that's so funny because that's how I've been feeling the whole time we were talking. And then she was the first one who ever said it to me. She said, she knew I was intuitive. She knew I was sensitive. She said, do you think that you're picking up how I'm feeling? And that was the first time that it had ever really occurred to me, like that was a possibility. And so I started like checking it out and just seeing. And I really started to realize that just by putting my hands on people, I was actually feeling how people were feeling. And it really just brought home that empathic nature for me, that I was an empath, that I could feel what other people were feeling. But not only that, if I put my hands on them or touch them, even more so, right? So when I first discovered this, I think there's this sort of mistake that people make where we think that if we're an empath, or at least a lot of the clients that come to me, they're discovering that they're an empath and we feel what other people feel. And then we think that that means that we have to like just suffer that fate or something. It's a gift or it's a curse. And we're just stuck like feeling what everybody else feels because we're just these highly sensitive people. And that's just sort of the way it is. And there's nothing that we can do about it. But I'm here to say that there are 3 mistakes that people make or shifts that we can make that if you are empathic, if you are feeling what other people feel, there are certain simple things you can do to make sure that you're letting go of what they're feeling because you don't actually want to hang on to it. Hi, Rick. So much love to you. I love you too. So if you're holding on to other people's pain, or a lot of people I like to say are relationship healers. So you're in a relationship with someone, you are healing them energetically, consciously or unconsciously, and then you're left with this big bowl of pain. Yay for you. They feel better, they leave, whatever, and there you are with all this pain that is not yours, right? There's your pain and there's everybody else's. And hi, Allison, my cousin, I love you. And so if you are a sensitive being, if you're empathic, if you're intuitive, if you're a woman, if you're a healer, okay, and you're in relationship and you heal other people this way, you want to make sure that you're grounding. You take a grounding cord from your root chakra all the way down to the center of the earth and you make it as wide as your hips. And you just imagine that any foreign energy, anybody else's energy in your space is going down your grounding cord to the center of the earth, where she will transmute it. And this is how we let go, okay? So many people that come to me, women, healers, friends, we are intuitive, we are empathic, we're waking up to this ability. And you've got to realize that what's happening from my perspective on a psychic level is that you are taking in other people's energy into your second chakra, you're running it through your second chakra, you're feeling everything that they're feeling, and then oftentimes we get stuck, we get depressed, we feel sad, we don't feel good because our lower area, our womb space, our ovaries, these are the creative, sensual, sexual energy center related to the second chakra for women. And we want it to be clear and clean so that we can be sensual and sexual and enjoying pleasure and creative and expressing. But if we're healing people and we're taking all their energy into our second and we're not letting it go, we're not releasing it, that is a huge mistake. So really, whoever you are, man, woman, healer, not healer, whether or not you identify with those labels, I really think it's an awesome practice to try on for you to see if it makes a difference, to give yourself a grounding cord to the center of the earth, to connect with the earth from your root chakra, and give some love to that second chakra too, and let all that energy go down. That is the number one mistake empaths make. So I think that a lot of people that start to tune into that they're empathic, they think that they just have to hold that. They think that they just have to keep that energy. They think that there's nothing that they can do about it. But the truth is that what I think, my interesting point of view, is that being an empath is actually the first step towards psychic awareness. It was for me. That's the first way that I discovered that I was a psychic. First, you realize, oh, I think I'm feeling other people's energy. This is a really powerful thing, right? Suddenly you tune into that, maybe what I'm feeling isn't mine. Maybe I actually can pick up other energy. Maybe this belongs to someone else. And that's the first sort of opening to energy, awareness, psychic ability, is realizing maybe I'm feeling, intuiting, sensing, picking up something else that's not me. And so being empathic, I think, is one of the first steps on the psychic path. A lot of people, I think, come into their psychic abilities with that first awareness. You go, oh, I'm empathic. I feel how other people are feeling. And then we start to get into choice. Well, great. So now that you're having that awareness, what are you going to do about it? And a lot of people, I think, just think that that's kind of where you stay. I'm an empath. That's my ability. I'm going to stay there. And that's what I do. I just feel what other people are feeling. Well, I say no. There's a next step on the ladder of psychic awareness and psychic ability and spirituality, of like going up to, okay, now I have choice. What am I going to do with this? And you want to ground it out and make sure you let it go. So that's the first mistake that people make, is that they do not let it go. The second mistake that people make is that they don't actually like run their energies or their chi or earth or cosmic energy and really work with clearing and setting your energetic boundaries. Because you're not sort of just like, you're empathic, so therefore you are doomed to pick up everybody else's energy wherever you go forever for the rest of your life. No, you actually get to say. You get to set your boundaries, set your energy, and you can do that by saying, okay, I'm going to make sure my aura is like a good distance all the way around me and above and below. And I'm going to make it like an arm's length. And I'm going to like really tune into that I am here. I have energy boundaries. I take up space. Science now knows that our heart energy, our energetic field of our heart space, is much bigger and more powerful than even the electromagnetic frequencies of the brain. So we know that we have this aura, right? We know that we have this energy. And then you get to choose whether or not you want to tune into it and decide, how big do you want your aura to be? And when you're out in nature, it's a really great time to expand out and get really big and let your aura be wide. But if you're around a lot of people, you're in the grocery store, whatever, you want to make sure that you take control and set your aura with your intention and make it a good distance around you, so that you're actually tuning into your boundaries and not just picking up everybody. Because I always tell my clients, if your aura is super big, you're picking up your neighbors, the person down the street. Like, some people come to me with these auras that are like down the block. So you're going to pick up everybody who's down the block. You don't want to do that. So that's the second mistake. And then the third thing that people do is, once we learn how to work with our energy and ground out and set our auric boundaries, we can't just let go and release without replenishing. So we have to refuel, we replenish. And the psychic way of doing that is with a gold sun. So you make a big, beautiful gold sun above your head. I love to put a magnet in it, twice the size of me. I call back all my energy to present time. I put colors and qualities in there that feel nourishing and nurturing for me. I pop that bubble and I let it pour in through the crown of my head, oozing like warm honey down the inside of my body, nourishing and filling every chakra, every bone, muscle, tissue, fiber, going down my arms and out my hands, clearing my creative channels, going down to the tips of my toes and all the way around me in 360 degrees, filling my aura. And that is how you replenish. That is a super nourishing way to call your own energy back to you and refuel yourself if you've been being around people picking up their energy and you're feeling really drained. So I think it's super awesome that being an empath is sort of like trending, if you will. It's like a lot of people seem to be waking up to that. I happen to believe that this is one of the first steps that a lot of people come into on the psychic pathway. You realize you're an empath. And then that's actually the first step. Then you get to choose, well, what are you going to do about that? It doesn't mean that you're doomed to just sort of feel what everybody feels forever. Then you can actually make some choices to start to work with your own energy and to not make the three mistakes. And the three mistakes, to summarize what I just said, are make sure you ground. You don't have to just be holding other people's pain and just there you are and you're stuck with it forever. Ground it out. And the second way is to create stronger boundaries so that you're not picking up so much. And the third way is to make sure you replenish with the gold sun. Because empaths walk into rooms, you can feel the energy. You're running everybody's energy through your second chakra. You're taking on what they're feeling. You're probably a relationship healer. And then you're left with that bowl of pain. You want to let go, right? So healing precedes creation. We can't heal what isn't ours to heal. So if you have chronic pain, if you're feeling stuck a lot, things like that, you're probably holding other people's pain and you can't work with it. It's like milk in a gas tank, right? Our energy feels good to us, and we can actually only heal what's ours. So you don't want to go trying to heal someone else's pain through your own body. You might take it on and feel it, then you want to let it go, ground it out, so that you can be in your own energy. So that's what I have to say about being an empath. And I wonder what you think. Like, have you noticed that a lot of people seem to be talking about it? Seems a lot of people are waking up to being an empath. And I wonder what that's all about. And I think that, more people are waking up, getting more spiritual. I've been being in my business as a psychic for over 6 years now. When I first started, it seemed like it was a scary thing to say. And it seemed really like I was cuckoo, woo-woo cuckoo. And now it seems like it's so many people are like talking more and more about healing and spiritual healing and being empathic and all of this. So I'm really passionate about this because psychic is of the soul. So really my work in the world is a misconception. I'm not like some future telling psychic. What I am is someone who helps people work with energy. I help you work with your soul, your spiritual energy, so that you can learn to be more in the body, present in the body, channeling more of your higher energy in, working with your chakras, working with your chi and your prana, strengthening your auric boundaries, really pulling in more of your own soul energy to flow through you so you can really, do what you're here to do and be who you're here to be and live from the heart and open your heart and release blocks and all of this. So it's really a misconception, I think, that being psychic is, I don't know, there's different kinds of psychics. We all have different flavors. But for me, that flavor is all about healing. And being a psychic is about healing 101. And healing 101, I think a lot of people come in on the empath, door, so to speak. You realize, oh, there's energy, there's other people's energy, there's my energy, I feel the energy, I feel what other people are feeling, I'm empathic. And then from there, you kind of get sucked into the energy world and start to learn how to work with those tools, because you don't have to feel what other people are feeling. Sometimes I even say you don't want to be an empath. I think it's a beautiful gift. I think, we all can cultivate that. I think some of us are more highly sensitive than others. But I also kind of say, great that you're an empath, and now there's a next step, because you don't want to stay there. You don't want to just pick up other people's pain and feel everything they're feeling, because then you might just feel a lot of crap. And so if you're feeling depressed and stuck, it's like, whose energy is in your space? Whose pain is in your space? And there are actually psychic healing tools to help you move their energy out of your space consciously with awareness and really quickly, so that you can choose to have your energy be the dominant energy in your space. And in the psychic world, we call that being senior in your space, because you are going to feel better, you're going to have more power, you're going to have a higher vibration if your energy is the senior energy in your space. All right, so thank you for joining with me today. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm reading a great book too about being an empath. So it's the Survival Guide, the Empath's Survival Guide. Judith Orloff. She is cutting edge in the world of empathicness and psychics. And she has great practices and different things for you to look over, so if you're into that sort of thing. And thank you so much for joining with me. So much love. Namaste.